Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope you're doing well, and I hope the beginning of spring is treating you well. I just want to record this video. I think it's going to run anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes, maybe a little less if I'm able to get everything in. So I invite you, if you have this time, to join me wherever you might be and tune in and listen in. I am going to share with you guys some really just insightful information that came through, downloads, if you will, and also maybe just like exciting news too. So in the absence or not being able to be together, in lieu of that, just join me if you can. I find myself at a friend's cabin. I was gifted a weekend at a beautiful, beautiful cabin, super scenic. Let me give you guys just a quick view. Gorgeous kitchen, and you're sitting here by the fire. You guys won't imagine how much effort it took to get that going, and just gorgeous scenery and tranquility outside. I'm glad we've got some sunshine this morning in Oregon. So wherever you might be, I just want to share this moment with you. So, last night was a really interesting night. Last night was Saturday night. And, interesting things happen when you take a moment to be still, to be quiet, maybe with the help of plant medicine or not. A lot of information came through, and as some of you might know, probably know, my friends know, chipping away at things. We're all chipping away at things, and we know that it's a time of radical change. Okay, this isn't new information. I'd say we're in the thick of it. And there are a few messages, really clear messages that came through. And I guess I'll summarize kind of what the points that I'm going to hit. One, that we're at a time of very radical change. And for anyone who maybe you identify as a light worker, maybe you understand that there's something way bigger than all of us and any of us really going on, and we are closely involved whatever our skills might be, whatever our gifts might be. At least if you are in my circle of friends or you're watching this video, you have awakened or are awakening to the need that, the fact that we need radical change, but two, that there is a paradigm shift that is happening. Will not happen overnight, but it is happening, and it is, in my opinion, our responsibility if we want to create a new world, a happy, healthy, safe world, that we work together to do that. So I'm going to hit on some points about that, and I'm also going to share just an experience that I had yesterday. I guess I'll start with that because that kind of really shook me up a little bit. And when I came back, I just knew I had to connect some dots. I stopped at a gas station on my way to Seaside, Oregon, and I just wanted to get out to see a beach. I'd never been to Seaside before. I was not impressed. Beach is beautiful, but I know that there are more beautiful beaches out there. But in any case, one, when I was at Seaside, I just saw a lot of people not wearing masks, not social distancing. There were a lot of people who were, but there were also a lot who weren't. And it was just kind of one of those moments of like, we need to be really vigilant and cautious and obviously follow the science and listen to scientists, and continue to take precaution and not be unsafe. no matter what, I think media tells us. And, just be vigilant of people who may not be taking precautions. First. Second, right, so I stopped at a gas station, and it was a really just old, vintage gas station. And I walk in, and I'm walk in looking for a lighter because I wanted to start a fire, and the lighters at the cabin had run out. So I knew I needed a lighter in order to enjoy my time here. So I stopped and I walked in, and maybe for some of you who get out of the city more than I do, this is no surprise to you, but I walk in, and the guy behind the counter, I could just tell he was checked out. He was checked out of life. His voice was monotone. I asked him, like, hey, do you know where the lighters are? He showed me while I walked around the shop, and he couldn't find it. And I had seen there were like small lighters right at the counter. And I just look up behind him, and there is a wall full of guns, all sizes, pistols, big ones. I don't know guns. Big and small, all terrifying to me. And I'm like, can't find a lighter, but I'm sure if I need a gun, you could help me out. Anyway, it was just one of those moments of awakening, of realizing, and we've been talking about this, so many people in the country know this, like, everything's backwards. And it's scary because, like, what's stopping? Nothing. There's nothing stopping people with ill will or ill intention from purchasing weapons. And I don't really understand why we need them. Okay. And there's something really sick and really distorted and dangerous about that, and about the system, and about how easy it could be and accessible these weapons were right behind the counter, and couldn't help me find it. He couldn't tell me where a lighter was. Eventually, I laughed and I was like, oh, here they are. They're right next to the counter. It was right next to the counter. Anyway, and I left, and I reflected on, I just had a lot of compassion for this person who, and a lot of people, a lot of unhealthy people that I saw as well when I was out and about, physically unhealthy people who, we're all just trying to, we're in toxic soup. And, some people, we're all swimming in toxic soup. And some of the notes that I made when I came home after that experience and meditated quite a bit last night. And these are messages. I mean, I connect with my spirit guides, and I really connected with them last night. Sometimes I get really caught up in my day-to-day that I don't, but I did. And the messages are really clear. One, we need to recognize attacks to our community, to ourselves, to our bodies, and to our thoughts. Protection is a word that came through very clearly, and I'm going to read a passage. I've been skimming through a book, the Buddha's teachings on social and communal harmony. I'm skimming through the book right now, and a few things stood out to me, and I'll read a few passages. So I have a feeling this might run into 20 to 30 minutes. Just hang in there with me. It's a talk. This is a talk, guys. So we have to recognize attacks to our community, to ourselves, and to our bodies. And we have to be good about recognizing that. And when I walked into that gas station, I was like, this is a potential, like the potential for an attack on anybody is really easy. It's made easy, okay, when weapons are easily available. That's not, those weapons aren't there for hobby. Friends, they're not. Not in my opinion. So attacks to our community, I mean, to folks who live in Portland, you know, we all know that there's been just a lot of gun violence that has been going on, and that goes on and is happening every single day, all around the city, and they have no idea who's doing it. They say it's gangs. All right, well, we have to be vigilant. Attacks to our bodies, okay? Another message that came through very clearly, the current society, the society that we are leaving behind, really, and that's what it felt like last night. We are leaving the 3D, we're leaving a low vibrational density. It specializes in cancer, all sorts of cancers, right? What is a cancer? A cancer is when a system's cells begin attacking itself, and a system's cells are unbalanced, unhealthy, and they begin attacking themselves. There's a dis-ease in that host, okay? And cancers, you know, right now we know a lot of our food is contaminated unless, you know, you're buying organic. A lot of our water has contaminants. Cancer can also generate in the mind, in our thoughts, okay? And it is manifesting in our society, okay? And I want to break this down a little bit more. And this is where we have to be vigilant and recognize attacks on our psyche, okay? We know the media and consuming too much news, it's getting kind of hot, toasty, is not healthy for us and for our psyche. It is important to know what's going on, but sometimes, you know, too much of bad news is not healthy. And also recognize the lyrics, the music that we're listening to, what's playing on the radio. Is that healthy? Is that conducive to social and communal harmony? Is that, are the messages that the mainstream is putting out there, are the messages on TV, in our TV shows, the shows and activities that our kids are doing, are these healthy? Are these nurturing? What are those messages? Because a lot of, dis-ease in any shape or form starts in the mind and in our thoughts. So, you know, whether it's coming from the external or perhaps it's a belief that we hold within ourselves, it's important to recognize, observe those, and then the word that came through strongly that I mentioned is protect. We have to protect ourselves and our communities. And I want to read a passage from this book. Did I not? Won't waste your time too much here, but there's a passage that I saved a couple other passages here, but about the importance of protection, that we need to protect ourselves and our community, and that is crucial to having social and communal harmony, because these attacks to our community, to ourselves, to our bodies, and to our thoughts are rampant, and they're everywhere. And that is spiritual warfare, and it's also physical warfare. And we see it because the physical destruction of our planet at this point is ecocide. It is intentional. It has been for a long time, and it's getting to the point where I sometimes wonder, and many of us are wondering, what will be left if we don't stop today, if we don't stop now, or soon, very, very soon. Okay. Okay. So that was one message around recognizing attacks and recognizing that our society specializes, or the 3D society specializes in cancer, creating cancers in the body, cancers in our thoughts, and cancer in our society. And what is societal cancer? When people within the society begin to attack others in that group. Okay, through what the book calls defilements of the mind. Defilements of the mind. We have individuals, cells, if you want to look at it that way, within the whole being society, humanity, that are disease-ridden and ill, psychologically ill, and have begun to attack the whole. So there is a psychological cancer, and there are people that are willing, ready, armed, and being aided in attacking humanity, others. Okay. So, all this to say, and this is, one of the focal points of this book, and some of the videos that I'm looking to make moving forward, that we have to normalize peace. We have to normalize harmony. Anything that is not those things is abnormal. It's disease, it's dis-ease. Okay, and I'm going to read just a couple passages, so stay with me if you are interested in hearing more, okay? Okay, and these are words from Buddha, okay? So, we will develop and cultivate the liberation of mind by loving kindness, the practice of loving kindness. Let's make it our vehicle. Let's make it our basis. Stabilize it, exercise ourselves in it, and fully perfect it. Thus should you train yourselves. Okay, so cultivate the liberation of mind by loving kindness. And I am excited to go and, to talk more about that, study that a little bit more. And I know there are a lot of loving kindness meditations available already, but really, what our path to liberation through this process, right? This ascension process out of the 3D, transcending the 3D in mind and spirit and in body as well, is about cultivating a lot of these practices Okay, and these are practices of thought, mind, and being, action, how we show up in the world and show up for ourselves and show up for society, for community. And this book kind of breaks that down and how you do that. And I'm going to read through some of these. And they just speak to me so clearly, and it's black and white, guys. It's really clear, okay? You know, others will inflict harm. We shall not inflict harm here. Others will destroy life. We shall abstain from the destruction of life here. Others will take what is not given. We shall abstain from taking what is not given. Others will speak falsehood. We shall abstain from false speech. Others will speak divisively. We shall abstain from divisive speech. Okay, that is a tool that we all know is being used left and right, and we have to check in and see in what ways do we divide ourselves and just separate ourselves from others, okay? Others will speak harshly. Others will indulge in idle chatter. Others will be covetous. Others will have ill will. Others will be of wrong view, of wrong intention, of wrong speech, of wrong action, of wrong livelihood, of wrong effort, of wrong mindfulness, of wrong concentration, of wrong knowledge, of wrong liberation. This one really resonates with me. Others will be overcome by dullness and drowsiness, right? That's what I noticed in this person that I interacted with at the gas station, right? We shall be free from dullness and drowsiness here, okay? Clarity of mind and energy. Others will be restless. We shall not be restless here. Others will be doubters. We shall go beyond doubt here. Others will be angry. We shall not be angry here. Others will be hostile. We shall not be hostile here. Others will be denigrators, insolent, envious, miserly, fraudulent, deceitful, obstinate, arrogant, difficult to admonish. We'll have bad friends. We'll be heedless, faithless, shameless. We'll have no fear of wrongdoing, okay? And we see that in our society. Some people don't care. Don't care about whether they destroy life, whether they inflict harm, okay? Others will be of little learning. We shall be of great learning here. Others will be lazy. We shall be energetic here. Almost done. Others will be unmindful. We shall be mindful here. Others will be foolish. We shall possess wisdom here. Others will adhere to their own views, hold on to them tenaciously, and relinquish them with difficulty. We shall not adhere to our own views or hold on to them tenaciously. We shall relinquish them easily. Okay, and then it goes on to talk more about loving kindness and compassion and a lot of other practices that are important that we cultivate. All that to bring it back to the point that we must normalize peace and harmony within ourselves, within our communities, in our relationships with everybody. It is a practice. It will not happen overnight, but it is important to really start sinking our teeth and our actions in these practices in order to manifest and create social and communal harmony that will, one, be our vehicle to liberation, to building a better, a much better, an absolutely different reality. And frankly, one of the messages that came through is that there is no room for anything but love, but respect, but self-care and self-love in this new paradigm, this new earth paradigm, okay? So anything that is not that we must recognize those as part of the 3D lower vibrational state, but also that they are attacks to our human nature, which is love and loving kindness. Okay. Other thoughts that came through: the importance of collaboration. This, like I said, social and communal harmony is going to be our vehicle out through, and it is what will enable us to build a society that is safe to begin with as a baseline, and that is joyful. And we need to do that collaboratively. I have shared that information with others that I want to work with, that I am about collaboration, and we can no longer compete against each other or allow division to distract us, to separate us and distract us from the tasks at hand. Okay. We have to work together. We must normalize connection. Oh, this thought also came through. We must begin to normalize connection to spirit and to our guides in our community. That is, everyone has different relationships with spirituality. However, and we all have our beliefs and our guides or our gods, or whatever tool we use to connect with the spirit. The point being, we have to normalize that. Okay. And if someone says, I need time to meditate, I need to check out, to go talk to my spirit guides, let's support each other in that and create spaces when it's safe to do so, again, to either congregate in community, congregate outdoors, or even just allow and grant ourselves within our family units the time, the space to talk about the connections that we have with our guides. And I know, in some circles that is totally normal, but it's certainly not the mainstream. And I really hope, and the message was, that it is important that we begin to normalize that in our future society, okay? Because we are not alone. We have guides, spirits, and ancestors, certainly, and beings from all other places, all other star galaxies assisting us. Okay, and that was one of the messages that I got through yesterday really clearly, and I'm so grateful that I heard it so loud and clear, that they are here, they're working with us, and they need our help. We need to continue to show up, and if not, start showing up more every day, a little bit more and more and more, to work with them. They are here. Okay, and we have to begin creating the time and the space to connect with them, receive messages that are unique to you, so we can work collaboratively. Okay, 3D, 5D is closer to the spirit realm, and we have to begin working together and normalizing these conversations. Okay. A few affirmations. I'll just, if you want to take note of these and maybe sit with them today. Today I stop attacking myself, whatever that might look like or sound like to you. I stop attacking myself in thought, physically, in practice. Today I heal. And today I am healed. Okay. We are healed. Okay, final messages. Yes, the world is scary. Yes, when I walked into that gas station, it was pretty darn scary. I'm like, those guns are a little too close for comfort, and this gentleman is a little too checked out for my comfort level. You know, what's stopping him from grabbing one of those and doing something crazy with it? So all that to say that the chaos, the loss of life, you know, I cried last night. I cried so hard. And I'm not one for crying very much. Definitely not one for like wailing, but there was a wail. We need to mourn if you haven't mourned yet. We have to mourn the loss of life. Human life, planetary life, ecosystems, animal life, all of the beings that have been destroyed, impacted by lower vibrational circumstances, thoughts, programming, choose your word, okay? The point is, that's not our nature. So we have to mourn the destruction that is happening. And, you know, I sit in front of a fire, and the fire transmutes, and the old must die in order for the new to be born, for it to really come to fruition. So we are still in this process of destruction. Okay, things are crumbling. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's a shift, right? As things fall, so we rise as well. So we can put our energy into rising and building these new systems, but also allowing ourselves to observe, notice, and grieve the loss of all that is being lost. Okay? All that needs to go as well, okay? Just final messages. Many will die, many have died, and these are really, I don't say these things lightly, okay? Don't feed the beast, okay? Watch what things you buy, be ready and cognizant and vigilant about, you know, really as soon as you are able to transition to buying better products, shopping from better companies, do it. As you can sign up for renewable energies through your energy provider, do it. Even better if you can afford to go solar. One of the messages I got, collect energy from the sun. Duh. Duh. It's free. Okay. The sun is free. Once you get your solar panel, you should be better. Okay. Should be set. And continue to wear masks. Okay. There's disease. Okay, and we must continue to protect ourselves from that. Okay, it's things dying, it's people dying, it's disease, and if it's not COVID, it could be something else. They have already, you know, climate scientists know the likelihood of zoologic, just crazy weird diseases popping up is likely if we don't stop this now. And at this rate, it might be a while still to really put the brakes on environmental destruction, and also poor judgment from people. So we must continue to wear masks, be vigilant, and recognize, okay, this was the key word, recognize, see the destruction as it's happening when something death-like, morbid, awful happens, know that it's part of the process, recognize it as that, and continue to protect our loved ones and protect ourselves and be smart and cultivate wisdom and knowledge. Okay. So I will close with that. I also wanted to share with you guys an image that came through, and I also just fucking blew my mind. I had written it down before, but I wrote it down really big, and it just, show it to you guys. Can you see? Intercambio. With the earth, and well, these are the signs for earth and exchange, and it's also the sign for harmony. It's a sign for harmony. We're going through a change, cambio, ter, of earth. There's a shift happening. Okay. And it's happening, and we are part of it, and we have to collaborate and not be idle in bringing in this new earth and in protecting our loved ones. And I want to say protecting as many people as possible, certainly, and helping as many people as possible awaken, with the understanding that these messages may not get to everyone. They may not reach everyone. Our actions may not be understood by, and our words may not be understood by everyone. So we cannot expect everyone to make it through. And this is the time to just mentally prepare ourselves to keep our loved ones close and keep protecting our people. Okay, and listening to our gut and our intuition. If something doesn't feel right, doesn't feel safe, or doesn't feel trustworthy, don't doubt that. Okay, there's a lot of false light, false messages, and just really, people at different stages of their own awakening process. And I'm right there with whoever's listening to this video. I too am really starting my practice of cultivating these relationships with my guides. And, these messages I'm sharing with them, with my community, with you, because I want to protect you, because they were so clear that I cannot just go back to my life and not share this with you guys. And I am going to take all of this information that came through and start acting on it. So with that, thank you so much for being with me and staying with me for this time. I really value and appreciate you being here, and I am really excited, and I'm going to, that was the other message, it's time to start speaking and sharing and building community in whatever ways that we can. And right now we have to harness the main tool that we have right now in the absence of in-person meeting, which is the digital connection. So with that, meditate on these messages, sit with it, mourn, cry, do whatever you need to do to journal, write, sit with it. And I wish you a good week, and we will continue to be in communication. Okay, thank you. And I'm going to go get some sunshine before heading back home.